Bonjour, and welcome back to Simple Life in the South of France. One of the questions I get asked the most is how much cheaper it is to live here in the south of France compared to London. Well, today I'm going to give you all the answers. We lived in London for years and moved to the Languedoc just over a year ago. So this comparison comes from a real life experience. So let's break it down category by category. Number 1, housing. In London, the prices of the mortgage payments or rent payments tend to be very expensive. We used to live in a 2-bedroom flat in London. The rent for that flat is £2,100 a month, which is about 2,400 euros a month. Here in the Languedoc, we pay 1,375 euros for a 4-bedroom house with a lovely garden and even a swimming pool. So really, it's a no-brainer. It's almost half a price, and instead of a 2-bedroom flat, we live in a 4-bedroom house. I have to say, I did love our flat in London, but I would not switch back. Having this much space around you and having a garden, it just makes so much difference, especially the garden when you have small kids. Once you have it, you just wouldn't go back. Obviously, in my example, I compared a 2-bedroom flat in London to a 4-bedroom house in the south of France. So if you want to have a more like-for-like comparison for the same size house, then in London you would probably pay between £2,800 and £4,000 for a 4-bedroom house with a garden in a suburban areas of London. In central London, you would probably end up paying, well, I would say £5,000 or even more for that size of home. Here in the Languedoc, a 4-bedroom house with a garden will probably cost you somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 euros a month. Obviously, the prices of rentals are depending on different regions of France. So I did a little research, and based on that, here are the average rental prices for a 4-bedroom house in different parts of France. Next one, utilities and bills. In London, for the bills for our flat, we paid around 550 euros per month. In France, for a much bigger house, our bills are expected to be around 430 euros per month. So even with a swimming pool that uses a lot of extra water, our monthly bills are still expected to be less than what we paid in London. Number 3, groceries and household essentials. Now this is the category that is actually the opposite for us. We used to spend less on these items in London compared to here in the Languedoc. In London, we used to spend around £750 per month on food and household essentials, which is about 860 euros per month. Here in the Languedoc, we spent closer to 1,200 euros per month last year. Now, I know that's a lot, but I have to say we do eat well. We eat a lot of different vegetables, fish and meat, and despite the fact that we cannot afford to buy all our food from local producers, in fact, we buy most of our food from supermarkets, the amount of money we spend on food is way more than what I like. And because of that, as of last month, I actually have been strictly budgeting our food cost. I set a budget of 175 euro per week, and I have to say it's been a little bit of a hit and miss, but realistically, I think I can actually set a new budget of 200 euros per week. And with that budget, we can still eat healthy, we can still eat well, with a lot of different vegetables and meat and so on, and also not break the bank. And again, that is for a family of 4 with 2 small kids and a doggy. For full disclosure, I have to add though that my husband is almost 6'4", so almost 2 meters tall, and he's a strong man, so he eats for 2, if not more. Number 4, eating out. I feel like eating out in the evening is equally pricey in London and here in the Languedoc. London has an amazing dining scene, perhaps one of the best in the world. You can eat any cuisine you wish pretty much at your doorstep. That also means that there are a lot of competition, so you can find yours. France, on the other hand, is famous for its local fresh produce. Whilst it does not have the variety of different cuisines that London has to offer, the local fresh food is fantastic. So, going back to the prices, I would say that for 2 people, you probably need around 100 euros if you want to have a 3-course dinner with a drink in both countries. Here in the Languedoc though, there are places offering amazing quality 3-course lunches during weekdays for around 20 euro. More of that in here if you are interested, and I feel that that deal is unbeatable. I have to say though that we don't eat out a lot, maybe once every couple of months, but I love cooking and I want to keep my family healthy, so I cook delicious and healthy food every single day. Next one, travel cost. In London, public transport is very expensive. I used to pay around £250 per month for a travel card that allowed me to travel from the outskirts of London, where we used to live, into central London, where I used to work. And remember, that is per person per month, so it's really expensive. Here in the Languedoc, we drive to places because public transport is not great in the villages. So instead, we spend money on petrol. The price of petrol is pretty much the same here in the Languedoc than in London. Here are the current prices of petrol. Currently, our fuel costs are around €200 per month. So our travel cost is cheaper than before. Not to mention that driving here is much more enjoyable. The scenery is fantastic, it's less traffic, so it's less stress. Next one, childcare cost. And this is a big one for us because this was actually one of the biggest reasons why we decided to leave London. In London, the nursery cost was around £2,000 per child per month. There was a little government support we got as working parents and a small amount of discount from the nursery for the second child, but even with those, the full-time nursery would have costed us around £3,460 per month, which is about €4,000 a month. I actually went part-time after the second child was born because it made no sense to pay my whole salary to the nursery and not to see my kids all week. Also, in London, children start school at age 5, which means that you kind of expected to pay these crazy prices up until then. In France, children start school at age 3, which means that you are only need to pay nursery cost up until that age because afterwards schools are free. So at the moment, we pay around €450 per month for a nursery, and that is for 4 days a week. So yeah, nurseries here are way cheaper than in the UK. I mentioned that schools here are free, and we choose to enroll our daughter in a public school so she could immerse herself in the new environment and learn French quickly. She completed her first year of maternelle last year, and we had a fantastic experience. We are planning for our son to also start maternelle in a public school next year. If you prefer private schools, of course, that will cost extra. I did a little research about the prices, and here is what I found. So, all in all, the cost of living here is way cheaper than in London, but, and that's a big but, salaries here are way less. You can basically cut your London salary in half, and that is what you can expect to earn here. The taxes and social charges are actually higher here than in the UK, which means that your net salary will be even less than what you used to. So it's not all sunshine and rainbow, but let's not forget the bigger picture. Money is not everything. The lifestyle here is so different, and the quality of life is so much better. We spend so much more time outdoors, surrounded by beautiful nature. The quality of life feels richer, not because of what you have, but because of how we live. More family time, less stress, and beautiful surroundings. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more about life in the south of France. And if you want to support our little adventures here, there is a link in the description where you can buy me a coffee. It really helps to keep the channel going. Thank you, and for now, au revoir!